We've already got a bit of action going down. Ice Cold Andy gets a decent start. Meanwhile, Bobbert in the Ferrari gets very close to his middle side. Ciaru in the middle. One of the Red Bulls going around the outside. One of the Lotus goes to circuit. That might have been Velocity. And what was that Ferrari all about? I've never seen lag that bad. All I've ever seen.
LGS that is, and he is lagging like crazy. I did see a Lotus.
Ciaru third, then in fourth. XRL Fields, great start from him. On to fourth place already. Then we've got the very laggy Alien-esque Ferrari that is being piloted by LGS as Fields gets poor traction going down towards the outside of Degner 1. XRL is going to have to get up. There's no way through it. Oh, Fields lost it, and as a result, there's contact on the inside of Degner. LGS goes up the circuit, and therefore Velocity goes through. So does Jambo, and then second Ferrari is Stevo. LGS has lost out massively there, all because Fields lost it and didn't give up the position. They're three abreast out of him, and Steve on the inside of the Sister Lotus. Meanwhile, ahead of him is the Toro Rosso. We've got a great start from Jambo, who's always He's 6 now. Up ahead of them, Feelers side by side with the Sister Lotus of XRL Velocity. Velocity goes up the track and Spoon. No, that's going to allow Jambo to cut the inside down towards the 130 yard. These drivers are really struggling in these wet conditions here. Out front, Andy has kept his lead, but Ciaru is keeping him close, and so is XRL Bobbert. Reese 26 of the Lotus in P6, the Wario Fox, double world champion, currently trying to get behind Jambo in the Sister Toro Rosso, and they're getting close to XRL Fields, so to go for the Casio chicane, down towards turn 1. Get on the tracks as early as he can, but so much wheel slip because of the tricky conditions here.
I thought he was going to go into the pit wall there for a minute.
Really got poor out there. Meanwhile, LGS looks like he's in a bit of a sandwich behind. As Spinny says, LGS seems to win in every race this season. Sean B22 gets a little punt there from the Ferrari as LGS goes around the outside trying to take the karting line. As Steele takes the motorist line to turn 1 and going to the S's. These guys are three abreast in here. This is suicidal. Steele somehow keeps it on the circuit but goes wide. Let's go over the door for LGS and drives around the outside. And also the Sister Red Bull. And the outer Indigo trying to get the outside of the S's at the end towards Dagda. But Steven just about hangs on there. And meanwhile, the Sister Mercedes, that's F1 Division, I believe, goes through on the inside. That's XRL Fozzie even. Trying to go on the outside of Degner. That's a dangerous move. Steven shuts the door. And Fozzie filters it to 12th place, fighting all through the grid at the moment.
You can say Sean's had a decent start. He's gone up a few. LGS, massive loser as he goes really wide into the... Oh no, a bit of lag.
Lewis Hamilton getting up to the back of the Sister Lotus of Velocity, chasing down Reese 26, who's also after Jambo in the Toro Rosso. These guys catching into the hand over fist. But with these conditions, it's so easy to get stuck in the turbulent air where you've got no visibility. Poor flies upon the water makes it very, very tricky. Whether it's through the chat boxes or from Xbox Live, Ciara's fallen away a bit from the jewel for the lead. Look at this! XRL Bowers on the inside of the 130R, trying to go on the outside of the Casio chicane. This is going to be a mighty move. They're going to make this stick. And unbelievable! Keeps it on the track. 2 wheels on the inside to take the lead. Magnificent! Mr. Ice Cold Andy deep into the slipstream. Curves deployed. No DRS. Turns to the intermediate tyres. Down towards turn 1. XRL Bowers forces to the inside line. Ice Cold Andy has to back out of the move. The last thing Andy needed was Bollets getting ahead of him and getting the drop and enduring these wet conditions. But will the track start to dry? Because that rain does not seem to be getting any heavier at the moment. Going through the S's, and Ice Cold Andy actually seems to have lost a bit of ground here.
Yeah.
So XRL Bobbers has obviously got the more high downforce section for the S's, very similar to Silverstone's Maggots and Baggots complex and the first sector at Austin, Texas, where you need good... Oh, what was that from Andy? Hit the curb, nearly spun the car, and that might actually open the door for Ciara and the McLaren to start closing down. On the stream, Andy Coyne's only comment is, oh my God, as the Sister Toro Rosso Jambo goes off the circuit. I don't know if XRL Fields gave him a little shot there. They hit him into the grass, or if he lost it on the braking.
Look, he looked like he just went deep, tried to put it into a neutral to try and stop the car, and has spun in as a result there.
Reese 26 has got his teammate Velocity all over him as he goes wide for his Spoon, and that opens the door for Velocity to catch up to him. Meanwhile, out in front, Bobbert has now got ahead because Ciaru has got a run on Ice Cold Andy and has got past him before the 130R. Ice Cold Andy down to 3rd place.
But Alexi's trying to get a move done on his teammate here. And his teammate's not giving many favours in this championship battle. Alexi is currently P2 in the championship, 3 points behind.
Oh, Ice Cold Andy drops it, nearly hits the pit wall there. Similar to what Reese 26 did on the opening laps. He's now down in third place, curse deployed, trying to get behind Ciara in the McLaren, who's weaved one way, then left. He's not technically broken the move, though, because Andy wasn't quite close enough into turn 2. And now XRL Fearless in the Red Bull is all over Andy. This is an absolute disaster for Ice Cold Andy. It's not what he needed. On the stream, XRL Stewart says, beautiful Bobbert, go on. Well, he's in the lead for now. It's a question of how long he can stay there as we go through the S's. And this car seems a little more planted than Ciara's McLaren. But crucially, look at Andy. He's really struggling to hold that Williams. And XRL Fearless is now closing him down, hand over fist. Into Degner 2, and XRL Fearless gets a little wobble there on the inside, but just about hangs it on. We got behind him Reese 26 and Velocity trying to keep themselves out of the walls, and Fearless took a look at him into the imaginative title hairpin, but got away with that. Ice Cold Andy taking the karting line for extra grip.
Maybe the Williams has got a little bit extra tyre wear. He's just that Ice Cold Andy's just going back, and I know how much he had in hand in qualifying, so maybe it's tyre wear. Maybe
he's got the drive set up. Oh, we've lost Chris to Sean Bean. We've lost the driver on lap 4 of the race. Unbelievable here. And now XRL Fields is going to drop in the potential move here. I know Ice Cold Andy 130 out. Is he going to go to the inside? No, he's not. Ice Cold Andy forced into wide. And as XRL Fields goes to the outside for the Casio chicane, they brush tyres. And Ice Cold Andy takes the high ground into the chicane. But that allows Ciara to get ahead of him. And he's now catching XRL Bobbers. There's battles all over the place here. Moving back to 5th place meanwhile. Velocity's got ahead of his teammate Reese 26. On the stream, meanwhile, Stuart saying he's gunning for Ciara winners. His dry pace is brilliant. It's likely to trail soon. Also a top 6 for Fozzie, whose pace has improved since he's turned off the assist. Well, meanwhile, speaking of Ciara, he's got really close to Bobbert and actually got ahead of him before the S's. Ciara takes the lead.
How has he done that then?
Must have forced his way on the outside. I was following Ice Cold Andy and Fearless. Maybe Bobbert's made a mistake, but as he went a bit wide there. But either way, Bobbert's down to P2, and he's now got Ice Cold Andy and XRL Fearless all over him. 4-way scrap for the lead here, because we've already got 53 laps in total. 5 laps down, we've got a long way to go in this race yet. Meanwhile, Stewart says he knows Sean B would last 10 laps, and it's pointless him racing. Well, not necessarily. I know a lot of thunderstorms in the UK. Connection's been terrible. The stream itself was delayed because me and Dan couldn't even talk to each other. That shows how much trouble people have been having. XRL Bowers trying to take a look at the inside of Spoon, but Ciara's a bit too far ahead of him. He's got to get a clean exit here, but he doesn't get that. Goes a bit too wide. That's going to open the door for Ice Cold Andy and the Williams, but he's deployed all his curves. He's already used the extra 80 horsepower, and that's what he needs. That's at a 130R.
And he just seems to be struggling with a straight line pace. He's been overtaken twice at the 130R, or just before or just after. So that's an area he is losing out big time, and in fact, Fearless is close right up.
Bobbert is deep in the toe of Ciara now. Sorry to cut across you, because that's less than a second gap. There's no DRS here, and that might have been a difference maker in the drive. Bobbert is going to have a go the old-fashioned way. Gets his face full of spray down towards turn 1. Ciara's just got to hang on and goes right. Ciara's off the circuit into turn 2, and now allows Bobbert to go through Ice Cold Andy. He's going to filter into second. Ciara drops to third.
Mistake, big
Just
mistake.
As XRL Stewart says the Bobbers has bottled it, Ciara drops it in turn 2. Talk about commentator's curse. Coming out of the S's, Ciara now staring at the diffuser of Ice Cold Andy, who's starting to catch on to Bobbers. This is like watching a slot machine go round here, viewers. You never know what it's going to land on. And Ciara goes a little wide at Degner 1, throws him off for Degner 2, and that allows XRL Fearless to get right into his tailpipe. Look how close that Red Bull is. And I think he's going to fancy a bonsai move. Kamui Kobayashi has into the hairpin. Oh, Ciara gets a little bit of lag. Fearless has to back out of the move to avoid hitting him. And that's amazing that neither driver got contacted there. And now Ciara's right behind him, so Fearless is in third place.
That's like the easiest overtake you'll ever have. Andy, though, P2 and P1's happening all over again. Andy somehow found a little more pace.
According to Rice's tag, who's in the box doing the stewarding, he's all talking to Stuart directly, and apparently it was 5-second lag that cost XRL Bobbert the lead. Well, he's got it back the old-fashioned way, but that's not what we need. Heading into the 130R, Ice Cold Andy gets a tail. Oh, very wide there, almost goes off the circuit, but just about catches it before the curb into the Casio chicane, and that's allowing, Ice Cold Andy gets a better drive than Bobbert's there. Bobbert's got too much of the curb, and this might give him an option down towards turn 1. Curves deployed by Ice Cold Andy as he gets into the slipstream, extra speed down towards turn 1. But Bobbert's has just got enough gearbox in that Ferrari, goes a little wide, almost karting line-esque, and gets away with that. That's unusual, you don't usually see that on this game.
I think that last straight for Andy just sort of confirmed to me he's running a little bit more wing.
Interesting, there's a couple of cars in the pits. I don't know who they are or what they're doing there.
Who would they be?
There's a couple of cars that have gone in.
and Lewis Hamilton are in the box.
Well, Steve-O now in 6th place. Let's cut back to him in a moment. He's under threat from XRL LGS. As we try and cover all the field here, it's almost impossible with the action that's going on. LGS has been lagging a bit a lot since actually got his connection slightly sorted here, and has drifted a little bit away from the McLaren. Steve-O's holding his own in 6th place. Ahead of them, meanwhile, in 5th, we've got the other Lotus of Reese, who's doing a magnificent job. Yeah, really but we saw him do this in Korea and then get mugged by the connection.
Yep.
I hope that doesn't happen this weekend.
Did he get mugged by the connection? I thought he...
yeah, he did. 5-second lag, lost 5 places.
Yeah, that's right. He quit the game on purpose, though, I think. Just had enough. But he's shown good potential. A lot of races this season without having the luck. So, let's hope Japan favours him.
Ice Cold Andy's deep in the slipstream of Bobbers down towards the 130R. We saw Fernando Alonso and Michael Schumacher get into some juicy action here years ago. Ice Cold Andy goes on 4 wheels outside the circuit. I'm not sure if that gives you much of an advantage in the way. Bobbers makes a mistake. He gets stuck in the middle of the chicane. The sticky grass is going to kick in. And he's going to have terrible acceleration off the corner. Ice Cold Andy's got a great opportunity to retake the lead here. They're going to be side by side down towards turn 1. Curves being deployed. And the Irishman goes by on the outside. Now Bobbers may have a tighter line to undercut him at turn 2 here. If Ice Cold Andy makes a mistake, getting into turn 2, no, Andy takes the lead.
There's been so many changes of the lead after only 8 laps. It's unbelievable. Andy now taking it back, but look at how close Fearless is.
Everyone's gotten into the pits. There's loads of cars in the pits all of a sudden. We're only 8 laps in. It's not dry enough for dries. It's not wet enough for wets. Surely you'd expect the intermediates to go longer than 8 laps.
22% of the race is meant to be wet. So what is that? That's going to be around 12-13 laps of wet. Then you've got the interchangeable sort of...
Well, that's just 22% chance of rain. It could rain for 2 laps. It could rain for 100 laps. That's the percentage of rain, not how long the race is going to be covered by rain.
Right. Yeah. But, yeah, it is. Sometimes it is like that. But I would have thought the rain doesn't look like it's too heavy anymore. So if the cars keep going round on the track, then it's going to dry out in maybe 5-6 laps time.
But there's your point. Why go into the pits now? What would you gain by that?
Tyre wear is dreadful round here. I don't even think a set of primes can go sort of 16 laps. So...
XRL Fields has got a potential drop on Bobberts here as they head towards the 130R. The Red Bull driver again trying to get back into the mix here, having started a bit lower than he would have expected into the Casio chicane. Bobberts defends to the inside. We saw him make an unforced error here last lap. Gets a little extra tail stop on the outside, but XRL Fields is not close enough to attack. And Bobberts now may have his eye on Ice Cold Andy's behind him. That's actually the 4th place car gone into the pits, so Ciaru has dived in as well.
Now, has the Lotus behind of Reese 26 pitted? Yes, he has, because Fozzie's gone through.
XRL Fields gets much better drive than Bobberts out turn 2, but he has to get out of the gas because Bobberts holds the middle of the road. It's almost like a lane hogger on the motorway, and XRL Fields has to get out of the way there and avoid hitting him. So now Fields is all over the back of Bobberts, and Ice Cold Andy is now starting to pull out. And what I told you before that anything could happen, it seems that the cars are reacting almost on a knife edge at all different kinds of the race.
Well, I'm looking at quite an interesting bout here. P8, 9 and 10. LGS, Lewis Hamilton, I think.
Oh, Fearless has just hit Bobberts. And Bobberts has gone off at Degner 2, but Fearless appears to be waiting up here. I think he's going to reconcede the position, and indeed he does. So Fearless gives the place back less than a corner later.
Fair play, but it's given that Ice Cold Andy a good couple seconds extra now to open the gap.
Crucially, it's also brought XRL Fozzie into the mix of all people.
Really?
He's now in 4th place and about 5 seconds adrift.
Oh, we have a Lotus who's just gone off the track there. Who is that? He's gone down to 10th, whoever it is. It's Velocity. What has happened there? He's now down into...
Not the kind of driver you'd expect to be making that kind of error. Velocity's shown a lot of pace this season.
I was expecting him to be right up there going for the win tonight, judging by his strategy, but the wet weather has thrown everything up in the air. And he's now down in 10th place. He's got a lot of overtaking to make, and there's a lot of people battling here. It's 12.
XRL Bollocks has gone very wide at the 130R, and that's brought XRL Fearless back into the mix here. I won't be surprised if Bollocks dives into the box here to try and cut his losses, because he's losing so much time, but no, he's stayed out. So now XRL Fearless is going to have a run, and XRL Bollocks down towards turn 1 in the Ferrari. XRL Fearless gets deep into the toe. Bollocks is responding with all he can. Gets to the middle of the circuit, much like his teammate XRL LGS. But XRL Fearless tries to do Kimi Räikkönen around the outside of 1. They touch tyres at 2. And XRL Fearless and XRL Bollocks are going to be side by side into the entry into chicane. And as a result of that, Fearless takes the lead. Great move.
What a pass there from Fearless on Bobbert. How's he managed to hook that one round the outside on probably quite aging
in the
tyres.
wet conditions as well.
But look how many cars there are.
Meantime, on the stream, Jigsaw's saying that Bobbert is braking early again. Well, you know, everyone's got different confidence levels in the wet. If you're not confident in your brakes, maybe you're aquaplaning, maybe you're locking up. You need to do everything you can to avoid going off and losing time. He's still running on the podium, whether he's braking early or not, so you can't criticise him for that. And actually, XRL Fearless has gone wide potentially at the hairpin, so that's opening a potential chance here. As Bobbert and Fearless water, look at the gap that Ice Cold Andy has now opened up.
Now another Lotus finds the gravel at the second Degner, and he's now down into 8th place. These guys are just, look how many people there are. There are, what, 5 people, 6, 7. The bottom 7 are covered by no more than 3 seconds here. So close.
This is unbelievable stuff. You've got Steve-O at the head of the snake in the McLaren. Then you've got Lewis Hamilton in the Toro Rosso being followed very, very quickly indeed by Reese 26, who goes wide as spoon, and that's going to open the door for the 9th place Ferrari. I believe that's XRL LGS, who's looking up the inside, and behind him, meanwhile, you've got Velocity in the Lotus, so you're quite correct. Huge train of cars, and the question is, who's going to make the banzai move into the 130R? Velocity took a quick look at LGS, but they've all had to filter into line. Heading into the Casio chicane, Velocity goes to the outside. XRL LGS trots back across an on contact. Velocity hits the back of LGS, and now that's brought up the Red Bull of Edinburgh, Mr. Indigo, and behind him, meanwhile, in 12th, Jambo in the Toro Rosso into this. This is insane stuff. Jambo in the Toro Rosso gets a run on XRL and Mr. Indigo. That's what's turn 1. Meanwhile, who's looking on the pitch?
Oh, we've got Fearless, I think that is, who's just got ahead of LGS.
Fearless and the Red Bull side by side with LGS. He retains position as Velocity goes almost off the circuit. And behind them, Jambo is now catching up to the 10th place for Lotus, heading into turn 4 at the S's. My God, this is breathless stuff here. Behind them, meanwhile, Edinburgh, Mr. Indigo catching very quickly indeed. This is like watching a touring car race at Alton Park. This is not like watching a F1 race in Suzuka. Jambo getting a bit further away here from Velocity in the Lotus. And XRL LGS starting to break slightly ahead of him too. Little gaps appearing as Reese goes off the circuit. And XRL Fearless dives past him, so does LGS. And Velocity tries to dive on the inside to go around the outside of the hairpin. That was brave, and as a result, Reese fights back on the inside. Magnificent stuff.
Defensive driving to get that position back. But
and the Mr. Indigo side by side with Jambo, heading towards the smooth corner. They're still side by side. The Toro Rosso and the Red Bull. And the Mr. Indigo trying to go on the inside, but Jambo muscles his way back in front as Velocity stares at the back of his teammate Reese down towards the 130R. He's going to need a lot of traction here to attack his teammate. Curse deployed for Velocity as he gets close to the back of Reese 26. Is he going to try and slip this on the inside of the 130R? I think he is. Here we go. They're going to hit wheels and Reese goes miles off the circuit. I'm not sure if that was legal. Further ahead, meanwhile, XRL LGS has fallen big time behind this, and meanwhile XRL Fearless is now stuck behind Hamilton in the Toro Rosso, down towards turn 1. He's deploying all his cars. Well, Hamilton's gearbox is very long indeed, and he fights him off, and XRL Fearless goes wide off the circuit around the outside, and he loses that position. Now, meanwhile, Stewart's making a very interesting point on the stream. Can Bobbert get the jump on XRL Fearless due to this traffic. It all depends on how far Bobbers is going to come out behind, because if Fearless on the fresher rubber has managed to get enough of a gap, we might see that Bobbers slot in between Velocity and LGS or somewhere like that and lose all that ground. It's all a matter of where you are on circuit.
Reese has gone to the back of the snake after yet another error. He just seems to be making too many errors, going into the gravel, going wide. He's done it yet again. He's down into 12th. But crikey, this is going to make this championship incredibly close if it stands as it is. Fearless being a big gainer. And Indigo losing probably out on his championship lead. There's only 5 points in it at the moment, and he is out of the points.
Meantime, we've got a message on the stream from WF1 Riker saying he's back watching XRL. Good, welcome back to you. He's saying good luck to Reese 26. I don't think he'll appreciate you saying that. As Ciara gets on the inside of XRL Bobbers to go around the inside of the 130R, and he just about keeps it on the island to take that position. Bobbers now down to P3.
And he hasn't pitted yet, has he?
No, that's the thing now. Is he going to go into the box this lap? No, he's not. XRL Bobbers, I think Bobbers is holding out for the try. Where's the rain? The rain's gone.
Probably still another couple of laps. You can still see the spray being off the cars, so it's still another lap or two away, but can he afford to stay out that long? Those tyres must be shot compared to everyone else now.
But the thing is, look where his main rival is. Lewis Hamilton's down in 6th place. Behind him is XRL Fearless. Fearless is still stuck behind Hamilton. That Toro Rosso is ruining the Red Bull day. You don't often you see that said on a Formula 1 stream. So Toro Rosso really getting in his way there. Hamilton doing a great job through the S's, but Fearless on the fresher rubber gets better lines as that track is starting to dry. I mean, they're really struggling now. Look how wide Hamilton went at the end of the S's there. And as we head towards Degnan, that might give Fearless an opportunity.
And he's stuck out as well. We've got Reese 26 out on the prime tyres. So Reese has gambled. Let's see how that one pans out.
Look at Jenson Button at Melbourne 2010. There's a good example. He ended up taking the victory by being the first one to pit for that.
I tell you what, Reese looked incredibly good around the S's in the first sector. Let's see how he does through the rest of the laps. He goes into Degnan, a little bit unstable going through the first, second Degnan, a little bit wide, but still carrying a lot more pace through, and the car is chucking up a bit of spray, but it's not...
Anyway, Mr. Indigo's got off the circuit a spoon, and as a result of that, Jambo undercuts him and takes 10th position. Indigo is back out of the points, staring at the back of a Toro Rosso. Talk about deja vu, because he's stuck behind Jambo, whilst ahead of him, XRL Fearless is stuck behind Hamilton. And now velocity goes towards the end of the 130R, and you might see drivers boxing this lap to get onto the fresh option rubber. Indeed they are. So I think XRL Bobbers has been the big gainer here, as XRL Fearless has stayed out, I think.
So is Indigo.
Yes, he has.
Ooh.
Fearless has stayed out. He's stuck behind Hamilton, so he's going to get ahead of XRL Bobbers, courtesy of track position. But how long will those tyres last as the sun has come out here in the land of the rising sun? How ironic's that? Lewis Hamilton gets a little tap through turn 2. XRL Fearless backs off to avoid taking the advantage. Meanwhile, down in P4, we've got X-Jambo, and behind him, we've got NMR Mr. Indigo. So all those drivers who stay out on the intermediates, now closing them down very quickly indeed, is Sayaru, and he's on the option tyres. So here we go. This will be the ultimate test of how much time they're going to lose here. The track looks bone dry at the end of the S's. I think all these drivers have made a catastrophic error, and they're going to pay for it dearly.
To confirm, Reese 26 gained no positions on his lap, though he's right behind as he's gained nothing. So the lap he did was on a level with intermediate tyres. The lap where everyone just pitted was the right lap to pit, and you're going to see Andy possibly lose a big chunk of his time.
Look at Ciaru. He's already closed up to the back of NMR Mr. Indigo, and that means he's only a few seconds behind Fearless, who has to pit. Fearless is going to lose about 50 seconds to Ciaru here, and a lot of it's been caused by Lewis Hamilton, who's been as muscly and old-fashioned as you like, saying, you shall not pass. He's made life very difficult for XRL Fearless. But Fearless might fancy a move around the outside of the 130R here. Goes towards the outside. I don't know if he's going to have the grip. Is he going to give it a go? No, he's just not got the attack here. Fearless is going to lose out horribly. He's going to try and get past Hamilton before the pit stops, and he tries to drive on the outside of the Casio chicane. He makes contact with Hamilton, and that now opens the door for both the Toro. And as a result of that, with the sister Toro Rosso Jambos have to stay out.
Well, he's gonna,
so Ciara's going to take the lead.
He surely would have gained more time going in this lap.
Look at this, Ciara's got into the lead. He's got ahead of us, Andy.
massive. That extra lap staying out has cost 5 to 10 seconds.
And Andy is on the prime tyres, so this is Sayara's chance to get the hammer down and work up a gap here. Absolutely critical that he got ahead of Ice Cold Andy. Andy will be furious about that. On the screen, loads of comments coming here saying he's getting really dry. 2 more laps. You were absolutely right, Steve-O. I mean, Sean Mead is saying so much for Fearless having no pace. Well, he might have pace, but so far he's not had any real strategy. As Bobbins goes a little wide, ditches towards the gravel in turn 4, but gets away with it. And Fozzie is behind him on the prime tyres. Look at that game from Fozzie. He's in 5th place. Great job for the Mercedes driver.
I'm worried now.
Steve on the McLaren's doing well.
I'm worried because Fozzie's meant to be racing tomorrow night. He's having such a good performance. But surely Jambo would have gained more time by being stacked up in the pits rather than going round another lap with those tyres.
That's the risk you have to take sometimes, don't you? Do you cut your losses and get double stuck behind your teammate, or do you take the gamble? Meanwhile, the big loser in all of this is none other than Hamilton, and behind him, in 10th position, XRL Fearless. He's down at the foot of the points and about 4 seconds behind Hamilton.
It's been an absolute classic 15 laps. I just don't know who's going to be winning this race. Reese is now up into P8, so he's in the points. Good on him. And he's in a 4-car scrap, I believe. Oh no, 3-car scrap.
He's being attacked at the moment by Lewis Hamilton and Taro Rosso, and ahead of him is LGS as finally Jambo goes into the pits. We're going to see how much time he's lost here, because we've already got 9th place going past, and Fearless will go past him as well. What a loss. DRS now open though, the Reese behind him, Hamilton's got the same advantage, and despite that being negated, he's still catching up to Reese, but he's just not close enough to attack, and Reese retains 8th position for now.
Right, let's see how much the loss was here for Jambo's come out into P10. Who is behind him then? It's Velexity, who's had a shocker. Velexity and Indigo, the 2 championship leaders. Velexity said, as long as I finish ahead of Indigo this race, I don't mind. Well, you're finishing ahead, but you're scoring no points, so it doesn't make any difference.
We saw that in 1999. Oh, meanwhile, what happened there? LGS went through the inside of Degner, shattered the DHL boarding, and as a result, both Hamilton and Reese 26 have gone past. What the hell happened there?
And he's on the option, so he cannot afford to be behind these 2 on the Lotus and the Toro Rosso who are on prime tyres. He's just made a massive error.
That was catastrophic. I don't know what that was about. Absolutely shocking error. Meanwhile, Steve-O is up in 5th place, and ahead of him in 4th, XRL Fozzie, who's only about 2 seconds off XRL Bobberts for the podium. What a shocking performance this has been. Where has this come from?
Lewis Hamilton getting through on 130R and Reese trying to shut the door.
Sayara's actually been passed by Ice Cold Andy. Ice Cold Andy has got past Sayara for the lead. So Sayara's now down to 2nd place.
Good overtake from Lewis Hamilton there at the final corner, but he's not going to lose it. Now Jess is going to try and make a double overtake here. He's got past Reese, he's got the DRS to get past Lewis Hamilton. He's going to try and go around the outside going through turn 1. Lewis Hamilton, make sure that LGS won't be getting past. Maybe that's a little bit of an aggressive defence there, but LGS losing.
And Reese has got past as a result, hasn't he? Reese is now from the track. Rain? What rain? It's all gone. It's completely bone dry here. And as a result now, it's all about all-out attack. And now, as a result of that, LGS in 8th place is being chased very quickly by XRL Fearless. Well, Fearless is trying to make up some ground after that mistake by doing the 2nd stint on the intermediates, but he's so far behind the lead now. Has he got any hope at all of getting into the podium positions?
Rusty's saying Fozzie near the front, he must have...
LGS goes in a hairpin! Big mistake there, and Fearless has got a potential run around the outside towards Spoon. They're going to be side by side here. LGS filters across, almost chops him off the circuit. Well, Fearless is not giving up. He's not intimidated. Going to try and attack on the inside of Spoon. You don't see overtaking here, but you do now. What a move from XRL Fearless! But LGS goes around the inside, and they're still side by side down towards the M130R. Well, Fearless has got the cars and gets ahead. That is one of the best overtakes I've ever seen.
What a move from XRL Fearless there. I don't think I've seen anything as good as that this season. Absolutely fantastic.
Well, Roberts, you insulted me during the career F4 stream, and now I've got a new overtake to replace yours. So good night. So LGS Miller P9 is attacking Fearless. Ahead of this, meanwhile, we've got Hamilton getting closer to the back of Reese 26, I believe that is, in the Lotus. Well, Hamilton's gone off all sides off the outside at turn 2. Lost a bit of time as a result of that. Very strange to see a driver straight lining that. As we move further up the field, Steve-O's on his own in 5th place, and then ahead of him we've got Fozzie in the Mercedes, who's not catching up to Bobbert, but not being dropped. And meanwhile, this battle between Siaru and Ice Cold Andy for the lead continues. There's nothing between these two as they lead the hairpin.
Steve-O goes into the gravel as I just turned on board with him. Fozzie in P4, he's on the prime as well. He's got a fantastic chance to get a podium today now. But yeah, getting back to this battle at the front, you just don't know who to watch. There's so many battles going down, you just don't want to catch anything.
Ciara's got a great chance here. He's got a lot of his curves available, and he took a tighter line through Spoon, so he's going to have to drag down towards the 130R, and he might have a chance to attack during the Casio chicane here. He's not side by side. He's going to go off the circuit. He's got a little too wide there. He's not really gained any advantage, but he's looking at the inside of the Casio. No! Ice Cold Andy has the better line, and on those prime tyres, this is going to be hurting Ciara so much. Using the last of his curves. There goes the DRS flap. This is a great opportunity as Andy stays close to the pit wall. Ciara thinks, okay, I'll go around the outside the long way, down towards turn 1. Can he get the car stopped? Can Ice Cold Andy fend him off? They're going to be side by side to 2. What defensive drive by Andy? How did he make that stick?
I thought Ciara pretty much got the move done there, but no, Andy not giving up, showing that sort of championship winning form again. It's good to see.
This is the fire we've been missing from Ice Cold Andy. Where has this been all season?
So it's already 20 laps in. I can't believe it's already 20 laps in. It's been absolutely fantastic.
20, it's on 19. Don't deprive the people watching that extra lap.
Russ, going back to a comment Rusty made earlier, he said Fozzie's got his form back then, he's got his mojo. Yes, he has, mainly to do with turning all the assists off has found him a lot of time. I think he had ABS still on and he's took that off and he's found a lot more time, and he is giving chase to Bobberts quite quickly now. Look at this. Yeah,
Ice Cold Andy's actually started to drop Ciara, so I'm going to go back and cover that. In P3, you've got Bobberts, who's clinging on. Despite initially having the lead, he's now under threat and not even finishing on the podium here. Such has been the pace. What we saw in qualifying, how close these guys were, so it's so easy to get yourself in that position and then find yourself being taken out of the game the old-fashioned way. So very, very easy to get this wrong, as XRL Fozzie gets a great run off Spoon Curve, and that's going to give him a chance to attack XRL Bobberts. Meanwhile, I've not a chance to check, but I've received messages on Xbox Live. Such has been the breathless action, I've had no chance to look here. Meanwhile, XRL, WF1 Raikkonen says, I support... Well, he's kind of in that ballpark at the moment, so it's good predictions so far from you, Raikkonen. It's a question of whether he's got the pace to stay there for the rest of the race. But XRL Fozzie's going to have a great opportunity here. On the DRS down towards turn 1, there goes the flap, and there goes the curse. And the Ferrari driver's under real pressure here. Defence to the inside, XRL Fozzie's going to have an eye on the outside line. Can he get it stopped? No, Ballas is just too far ahead of him. So XRL Fozzie doing all he can to attack through the S's, trying to get close to Bobberts. So Bobberts has done a great job here to fend him off. Moving back through the field, let's try and give you some more coverage. As on the screen, Crazyfish1234 says, hi guys, go look on the forums and reply if you think of anything.
Oh, that's to do with like loopholes in the rules. It'll be a rules update for next season, I think. Just little loopholes that need tightening up or new rules to come in. Just saying, I think Crazy Fish isn't racing next year, but he's going to be the head steward, and that'll be his only job. And
big mistake from the Toro Rosso of Hamilton, and XRL Fearless goes, thank you very much, you're now finally out of my way. He moves up to P6, and he's going to try and chase down Steve-O for 5th, but he's still way behind this duel for 3rd between XRL Fozzie and Bobberts. And Bobberts goes a little wide of Spoon there, but Fozzie gets too many tyres on the AstroTurf to not take advantage.
Reese 26 now, he's starting to close on to Lewis Hamilton as a result. He's in P8, so it's been a decent race for Reese. Let's see what he can do. He's on the prime tyre at the moment. I'm a little bit worried for someone like Bobberts, who's got prime tyre runners all the way behind him. Sort of 4th and 5th are quite close to him, and they're going to have to run options while his team runs prime. So Bobberts could be in a position where he's under pressure. later on in the race.
Out in front, Ciaru and Ice Cold Andy are still nailed to each other's gearboxes. Heads or tails here. Going into the S's, Ciaru once again not able to get the move done, and Ice Cold Andy is ruining his race. Ice Cold Andy on the prime tyres, of course, will get those options towards the end. Ciaru's on them now. So not only has he got the high tyre wear of the nature of the circuit anyway, he's got the dirty air that's chewing the rubber away as we go. On the stream, XRL Stewart says, go on, Fozzie, showing up the big boys. Well, he's doing a good job so far, and if he gets this on the podium, would you back him to win GP2? I certainly would.
Oh, definitely have to say it, but GP2's no cakewalk. I mean, you've got Stewart, you've got Magic Milk, you've got... Oh,
that's no connection! Ciaru takes the lead! Unbelievable, we've lost the leader for no fault of his own at the hairpin! Ice Cold Andy is out! Unbelievable, we've barely covered a third distance, and he's out of the race! XRL Fozzie, meanwhile, is now in second, because Steve-O is in third. I don't know what happened to Bobbert. He's now in P4.
He's in P4?
Yes.
Oh dear, he's dropped a good bit of time. But let's go back to the point from Randy. He's had a bad season, mainly because of the lack of practice. But can you blame him when he has results like this? He practices a lot this week and gets disconnected. I mean, it's just... what can you do?
Sean Bean's come on the screen and said, Andy's favourite race. No. Well, words fail me. I've said before, how many years have they had to sort this out? XRL Stewart simply says, no way. You better believe it, it's happened. Ice Cold Andy is out. XRL Bobbert in P4, and now Fozzie is attacking Ciaru, who might be on for a brilliant performance and a victory. But XRL Fearless, throughout all of this, has been catching.
As for the championship, as it currently stands, it is going to be close. I mean... the gap is 5 points and 16 points to Fearless. Fearless is going to pick up 10 today. Valexi's only going to pick up 2 as it stands. And Indigo picking up 1, sorry. So that gap's going to be what? I mean, it's going to be less than 10 points separating the top 3 in the championship. It's just going to get closer and closer. And there's time running out in this championship as well. So it's going to go right down to the wire.
Now, Steve-O starts to catch up to XRL Fozzie as we head into the hairpin, so as the battle for second place is coming, providing Steve-O doesn't make a mistake, gets a little wobbly at the hairpin, but gets away with it. Meanwhile, behind, someone may have just got punted there, underneath the bridge, before the kink at the hairpin. Don't know who that was. But we had Jambo in 6th place. Who's behind him? Lewis Hamilton. There might have been a collision between the teammates there. Meanwhile, Reese 26 is in 8th position. I get the feeling he may have pitted, and he's ahead of his teammate Velocity, so that's crucial for him. The former double world champion showing his muscle, still a bit off the pace, but definitely a contender. Meanwhile, I think actually Velocity might have forced his way past him through the inside of Spoon. Indeed he has. Velocity took advantage of Reese, who went a bit wide there, and as a result, Reese is down to 9th, but right in the slipstream of his teammate down towards the 130R. Is he going to think about a dive on the inside here? Is Reese that suicide on Kamikaze? Oh, yeah, maybe he is, because big mistake from Velocity, got a bit too wide. Coming into the Casio chicane, can he get the cut back line here, Reese? And Velocity fending him off, going down towards turn 1. This is going to be mightily close. No curves available at this road for Reese, and I think with DRS, he's just not going to have the pace.
Does that comment from Rusty? Yeah, it won't be this week, Rusty, I'm afraid. Finishing in front of you again, I don't think. I've not really practiced for this one. So yeah, it'll be an interesting one tomorrow with the likes of Fozzie Racing, who suddenly found a lot of pace.
Speaking of Fozzie, the closest battle on track now is Steve. And Fozzie made a mistake! Fozzie's gone off at Dagda 2! He's down to 3rd! And XRL Bobbert is probably going to pass him here! Bobbert goes back ahead! Fozzie is off the podium through an error at Dagda 2! He's made a catastrophic mistake at the worst possible time!
And behind that, all of a sudden, Fearless is just getting closer and closer, going around, doing his own thing, keeping it nice and clean, and look at that, he's right on them again.
On the stream, meanwhile, XRL Stewart says, on the bright side, I did predict Ciaru for the win. Well, we've still got a long way to go. Look what happened to Ice Cold Andy. Never, ever assume anything. Always double check. So XRL Fozzy staring at the back of Bobbitts as he got to the 130R. He's not going to be close enough to attack down Cassio. He can get a good line out of the chicane. And Bobbitts on those worn options might potentially be vulnerable down towards turn 1 through this traction zone, as you don't get a lot. Oh, in fact, Bobbitts dies a very late cut to the pits there. He almost hit the wall, David Coulthard fashion, but he got away with it. Now, interestingly, who's that in the pits? Ahead of him.
Ahead of Bobbitts?
Who's just going to come out ahead of Fozzy? Who is it? That's Ciaru.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were talking about ahead of Bobbitts. Oh, yes, that is pretty close. Now, Fozzy Ciaru has managed to get a pit stop ahead of everyone behind him. He's only just a few seconds behind the car in the lead. Stebo, yeah. So it looks a very good chance for McLaren
1-2. When's the last time you heard anyone talk about that?
Yeah, you just beat me to it there.
Heading through Degner 1, XRL Fozzy staring at the back of Ciaru, who's on the colder prime tyres, but once it's to temperature, you expect the grip difference to carry him right forward into the hairpin chicane. Great opportunity for Fozzy. It's a little wide though, it's very tentative as he gets into it, and as a result, that's brought XRL Fearless right behind him. XRL Fearless is all of a sudden right behind Fozzy and battling for the podium. On the inside of Spoon, XRL Phil's getting a better run there out of the corners. And XRL Fozzy's got to be careful here because he could be under threat from a driver who takes after his name and is not afraid of getting up the inside and having a big move. Heading through the 130R, and XRL Fozzy gets a little wide, so that allows Fearless to catch right up to him at Cassio, but Fearless locks up on the left-hand side. But Fozzy was a little wide at the outside, gets poor traction. Kurz has been deployed, the last of it. And look how close Fearless is. DRS flat wide open, here we go. Down towards turn 1, and that move's going to be easy.
It's as easy as they come, isn't it? And he's definitely losing time to Ciaru. He must have lost a good second and a half that lap.
Crazy Fish, please don't encourage poles like that. I don't think that's fair on the drivers. XRL Fozzy goes wide down towards Degner. XRL Fearless ahead of him now is starting to get away from him. And interestingly, I think he's actually catching Ciaru, despite the fact that his tyres are older. XRL Fearless has suddenly found a turn of pace, and he might find himself battling for the lead, unbelievably.
We've got a 4-car scrap for P6 here. Lewis Hamilton just fending off the McLaren of Estevo, who's pitted and has come out right in the middle of this battle. And Andy has sent me a message. I'm not looking forward to reading this one, but you guys won't get to see that. I'll just have a look on my app. So I think it might not be
Mr. Indigo ahead of Hamilton while you get looking at that meanwhile. And as Estevo, as you rightly mentioned, comes out in the middle of it in 8th place. And an XRL Bobbitts, big loser here, down in 9th. But XRL Bobbitts gets a look at the back of Stevo and Hamilton, who both went a little wide there as Spoon. Kerr's being deployed by Bobbitts, and I think he's fancying a potential move here into the 130R. Oh, Stevo trots back across this, and Bobbitts has to get out of the gas to avoid hitting him. And Lewis Hamilton, under the pressure from Stevo, these two, if they get into a tangle, will let Bobbitts through down towards turn 1. And then our Mr. Indigos will be loving this, because these guys are scrapping as Hamilton dives into the pits, releasing Stevo, but Bobbitts has got the DRS. Steve has the same advantage, but the closeness that Bobbitts got to him means he should be able to get up alongside. Can he make this move stick into turn 1? Late on the brakes, and that was beautifully done. Meanwhile, I've suddenly had a lot of people leave and stop watching all of a sudden.
I got that.
What's the matter with you? Have you all found something more interesting to do?
Crazy Fish has probably gone to watch the goal.
Is there anything more boring than golf?
In terms of watching, yeah, I don't think there is. But anyway, let's get back on board with what really matters and what's been a fantastic first half of this race. Battles all the way up and down the pack. Indigo.
Indeed, they are. Reese is in 11th place, battling Jambo. And these two are very close, coming out of the S's in towards Dagda 1 and 2. Reese has really got the drop on Jambo, who's very early on the brakes. Gets a little punt for Reese, but gets away with it.
Reese will be super angry if he finishes last tonight. He's being competitive, which is nice to see. let's hope he can finish it out because he deserves to. But
XRL Fozzie's now down in 8th place, must have gone into the pits. He's come out behind Steve-O, and Steve-O's right up to the back of XRL Bobberts.
So Bobberts made his way through then earlier on, didn't he? On the DRS, I think.
He did. He got around the outside, but Steve-O's very close to him, and has actually got a much better traction off the final corner. So now Steve-O fancies a bit of revenge here in the London Horizon. But Bobberts has the same advantage on DRS. And it looked like he was starting to pull away, but Steve-O's followed him, and Bobberts goes, okay, I'm being a middle lane hogger, takes the middle of the road, and Steve-O's got no way through. And XRL Stewart said it best, said that this traffic is costing Steve-O, it's also costing Bobberts. Both of them have lost out big time because of it.
And Reese and Jamba are battling along, and there's another one who's just joined the battle. I think that's NMR Mr. Indigo, so big stuff for the championship here. NMR Mr. Indigo just getting in front of Lewis Hamilton and Reese here, fighting for what are the minor points here. There is 11 drivers finished because of the disconnection to Andy.
I've got Jumbo in P3.
I meant Lewis Hamilton, sorry, the other Toro Rosso.
I think I might have made that mistake as well.
Yeah,
Velocity's just been passed by Bobberts, because Velocity made a mistake at the hairpin. So Bobberts is now up to P4, chasing after Jumbo. But Velocity in the Lotus is not going to like being mugged like that. And Bobberts goes wide as spoon, so Velocity might fancy an opportunity here. Meanwhile, behind him, Steve-O in the McLaren is stuck in the turbulent air that Lotus and Bobberts is getting away from him. Steve-O has to clear the Velocity, but that's easier said than done. Heading through 130R, Velocity jigs left and right, trying to throw Steve-O off. And he goes to the wide line at the Casio to take the tighter entry at the final corner, but Steve-O's got better traction, and Velocity dives for the pits, so that releases Steve-O, and will give him DRS to start trying to close that gap to Bobberts.
So where will Velocity come out in relation to his championship rival, NMR Mr. Indigo? It looks as if Mr. Indigo, it's going to be very close actually, I say Indigo's going to get through. He should get through, but it's not going to be dead certain here. Yeah, he will do. They've just gone through.
Sayara's got a big lead here. He's got at least 11 seconds on XRL Fearless, who's not yet stopped. Big lead from Sayara, great opportunity. Yes, you can argue that Ice Cold Andy's retirement gifted it to him. That's not the point. To finish first you have to finish. And that's exactly what Sayara's got his heart set on at the moment.
Better or luckier or being cleaner or whatever you want to call it. He's kept himself out of trouble and lapped well, and he's not had any problems. He's in the lead, he's 12 seconds ahead. So, massive gap.
Meanwhile, XRL Fearless in P2 is being helped out a bit here by Jambo, because Jambo is now only a couple of seconds ahead of Bobberts, and Bobberts has to pass the stubborn Toro Rosso driver, who's doing everything he can on a slightly reversed strategy to try and claw his way up the points. XRL Bobberts is about 1.5 seconds behind at the moment. Spinny says not much going on the track at the moment now. He trying to commentate his curse action all of a sudden. There's been action all the way through. Nice to take a breather, I'll have you know.
Exactly, but you're going to have to stop that breather.
Jambo dives into the pits, so that's going to release Bobberts in P3. And then we've got Steve-O in P4. He's going to go P4. Fozzie is now going to be up to P5, but he'll be bitterly disappointed after a couple of errors. Meanwhile, so much for no action on track, because Hamilton is now in the war with NMR Mr. Indigo, and behind him, closing very quickly in 10th place, we've got Velocity in the Lotus.
This is big for the
side
championship.
by side, NMR Mr. Indigo, DRS down towards the inside of Lewis Hamilton. Can he get this move done into turn 1? Yes, he can. And Jambo has gone ahead of both of them. Crucial for the Toro Rosso driver. So we got Toro Rosso, Red Bull, Toro Rosso, Red Bull. Not quite, we got Velocity behind them in 10th place.
Is that LGS in P6 there as well? I thought he'd be the one on the back of all this lot, but he's done well to get to the front. He's in the gravel is that Jambo who's gone into the second.
That is Jambo indeed. Velocity takes advantage, as does Lewis Hamilton. And we've also got ahead of him, we've got NMR Mr. Indigo, so critical for those guys to be able to take advantage. And LGS, meanwhile, quietly motoring along in the Ferrari. He's doing okay. Velocity Velocity taking up the inside towards Spoon. I'm not reading that comment out, Stuart. Going through Spoon. Velocity's got a chance to attack the back of Hamilton. Hamilton gets a little wayward on the exit there, gets poor traction. And Velocity sends blood in the water here, deploys his curves. And I think he's going to try and get on the inside towards the 130R here. This is going to be brave. He's going to try and go around the outside. Fernando Alonso and Schumacher. Hamilton's hit him. And he goes off the circuit. But Velocity doesn't lose out and crucially doesn't get side pod glitched.
Maybe he can have a go with the DRS, uses the rest of his curves. And maybe he can still have a go down to turn 1 here.
DRS flat wide open and Hamilton is a sitting duck. Gets slipstream on the action, goes wide at the end of the pits. And Velocity should be able to get this move done quite simply. Yeah. Up ahead, meanwhile, Enema Mr. Indigo and LGS are having a bit of a scrap as we start the S's. Enema Mr. Indigo and the Red Bull attacking the Ferrari. But LGS, the wily old fox, sticking to the middle line, telling people if you want to get past me, you have to do it the old-fashioned way.
Not really the first sector's not really overtaking point, so maybe going into hairpin after the Degners, he may be able to have a go.
Well, LGS gets Degner 2 right this time, and as a result, Enema Mr. Indigo's behind him, closing, but not closing enough. Into the hairpin, is he close enough to swing on the inside? No, he's just not got the traction to attack. But LGS has gone wide, and that gives Enema Mr. Indigo a potential opportunity here.
Again, he doesn't want to take it, so you'd think.
No, he does want to take it. Look at this. Oh, they're going to be side by side to Spoon, but LGS hits him with his tyre as he heads to the first part of Spoon curve. LGS goes wide, and Mr. Indigo cleaner traction as a result of that, down towards the 130R. There's a little bit of oversteer coming out of it though, so here we go, curves deployed, and LGS under threat here, as Mr. Indigo jinks to the left. He's going to try and go the inside of the 130R. He's got to head before the corner. Can he keep it on the circuit? LGS hits him a little bit on the inside, but going to Casio. Mr. Indigo's got it done. LGS tries to go around the outside, but Mr. Indigo's got the move done.
And he's just... is he going to pull out enough of a gap to be able to defend though? He's going to have DRS from like 3 or 4 cars behind as LGS now starts to
exactly,
close.
And look at this, LGS is right on the inside of him here. DRS flat wide open, and LGS goes thank you very much, and takes that position. Now, behind him, meanwhile, Mr. Indigo under again. Pressure, as Indigo's on the inside of turn 2. My God, what close driving. Velocity tries to do turn 3, but has to back out of the move. These 3 drivers are all over each other as we go through the S's section, really close. Velocity trying to get the wider line to get an attacking. Meanwhile, behind them, we've got a move being done here by, I think that's his teammate. Reese, there's the Toro Rossos battling each other. That's Jambo and Hamilton.
He goes in.
As LGS makes a mistake, goes wide, but Degner one, that lets Indigo through. And Velocity follows him, but has he got enough traction to go around the outside of the hairpin? This is going to be tricky with the marbles. Has he got the room? LGS just gives him enough space. They're going to be side by side on the right-hand kick. They touch tyres. Going down towards Spoon curve, they're still side by side. LGS deploys the curves, trying to attack. Getting in the line, and LGS manages to just hold him off. But LGS goes wide of Spoon, Velocity follows him. So these guys are under threat now. So we've got the second Toro Rosso of Jambo. Now attacking Velocity. He's right on the inside of him.
Don't want to mention anything, but the battle for second, there's 4 drivers there. All battle, 3 drivers all battling very, very closely. So.
Oh, Jambo tags the back of Velocity to go into the Casio chicane, and that's allowed his teammate Hamilton to get right behind him. We've got a 5-car scrap at the foot of the points here, viewers. F1 at his finest. Jambo gets the flap open behind out Velocity, but Velocity's got the same advantage on LGS who head towards turn 1. LGS gets on the brakes nice and early, gets nice control of the line, and Velocity has to stay behind him. Velocity will be slamming the steering wheel in frustration at that. Going through the S's, Velocity's not really got a way through here, and LGS is actually pulling away slightly, as behind him, Jambo in the Toro Rosso is also muscling. Well, now Velocity's got better traction off the edge. Is he going to try and attack through Degner? This would be suicidal. Surely he can't do this. And he realises wisely it's not a position to attack. Going into the hairpin corner, is Velocity going to jink out to the left? Yes, he is. They hit tyres. Velocity goes over the inside, over the white line. And that's going to make him vulnerable to Jambo. As Jambo goes around the outside and takes the position. And he's now all over the gearbox of LGS. Goes to the inside using curves. Magnificent opportunity driving from Jambo. Gets himself to 7th place.
Every one of these overtakes.
Hamilton's not on the inside of Velocity, coming out of Spoon Curve, and Velocity's just hanging on. Don't know how he got the grip there.
Every one of these overtakes is counting towards the bigger goal of this championship. All the guys who are in it, all in this pack, apart from Fearless, who's starting to get away.
Velocity tries a suicidal lunge at Cassio 1. Hits LGS, but luckily doesn't cause any damage. And Hamilton's now caught to the back of him as a result of that. And that's also brought Reese into this as well. This is crazy. DRS flap home from Hamilton, but he's nowhere near. The back of Velocity is now his best opportunity on LGS. Can he slick on the inside? Yes, he can. No. But then goes off the circuit. What was that? He's in the gravel, and he's out of the points as he's been passed automatically by his teammate Reese. Velocity bottles it under pressure and goes off.
What happened there for Alexi? The only thing you can say now is he's got some fresh air. He can really get the foot down and probably catch up to these guys quite quickly, but obviously it's the time that is wasted there.
LGS goes wide at Dagda 1, and that throws him off at Dagda 2. So Hamilton's now sizing at the back of the Ferrari. In 9th place, he's trying to attack LGS. Is he going to think about a suicidal lunge into the hairpin? No, he's just not close enough to attack. And Reese, the Wally first got close as LGS goes wide at the hairpin. They brush tyres, and Hamilton fancies a run round the outside towards Spoon here. And LGS is going to try and run him out of road, but Hamilton goes, no, you don't, and takes that position in fashion. Beautiful driving. Jambo's got ahead of these guys. He's got into clear air. Enema Mr. Indigo in 6th has got the same luxury. XRL Fearless in 5th. But then look at this. XRL Fozzy, Seyaru, and Mr. Steele, sorry, and XRL Bobbert are all over each other. And Fozzy's got the flap open towards the McLaren, but he's just not close enough to attack.
LGS nearly making a move on. I think that's Lewis Hamilton in front, but this has brought Reese 26 right into this battle as well. What a bad day it's been in the office for the Lotus team. Only 1 point as it stands. Still 19-20 laps after this race, so it's a lot of time to make some places up.
XRL Fozzy gets close to the back now of Mr. Steve, who's running an excellent 3rd place. Into Dagda 2, XRL Bobbers has started to drop this pair slightly, so XRL Fozzy's got a chance to attack into the hairpin, but better ride off the corner there from Steve-O has allowed him to catch up to the Ferrari. It's like a yo-yo here, it's constantly swinging back and forth. Going through the second part of Spoon, XRL Fozzy attacking Mr. Steve-O as much as he can, but XRL Fozzy's just not got the traction to attack here. These 3 drivers are all pretty much lying astern. Into the Casio chicane. Has Steve-O got a good line to attack Bobbert? He may have made a bit of an error there, and that's allowed Fozzy to start catching him up. So Fozzy in the Mercedes gets the DRS flat wide open, but Steve-O's got the same advantage on Bobbert. So as a result, Fozzy has to frustratingly sit back there and wait. Bobbert goes a little wide at turn 2, but he gets... Oh no! Steve-O's got lag! Steve-O lags behind Fozzy! He's now in 4th place! What a disaster! And Mr. Indigo, meanwhile, is under pressure now from Jambo in the Toro Rosso.
Oh, lag. KNLGS starting to lag, but he's just lost the position to, I believe, that's the Toro...
WF1 Raikkonen on the stream reckons that if Fozzy comes in now, he can go to the end. 18 laps might be a bit much to ask. I think he's going to hold on for another 2 more. Going through Dagda 1 and 2, Jambo's all over the back of Enema Mr. Indigo, who made a bit of an error there, kicks up the dust, so Jambo, the Toro Rosso, is going to attack here, heading into the hairpin corner. Oh, goes a little wide there, Enema Mr. Indigo, but finds the extra grip to hang on. Jambo in the Toro Rosso, now getting as close as he can. We've only got 18 laps to go. Where has the time gone here in Japan? As they head towards the Spoon Curve, Jambo making a bit of a march here towards the back of the Enema Mr. Indigo and the Red Bull, but he's just not closing the gap.
Right, so Valexi's now into 10th. He's just overtaken his teammate, who I think LGS was a bit aggressive on his defence.
Jambo's taking a look at the inside before the 130R, and I get the feeling Mr. Indigo decided just to let him go, because Jambo got past him before the 130R and was like, I didn't think it'd be that easy. Oh well, live and learn. He takes the position. Now meanwhile, up ahead, in 5th place, we've got one of the other cars in the pits. XRL Fearless goes through. Who's in the box at the moment? It's Steve-O in the McLaren. Steve-O's blinked early, so Fearless now goes to P4, as meanwhile XRL Fozzie is all over the back of Bubbert. For all those of you out there who've been watching tonight, courtesy of GT Omega Racing and GamePod.co.uk, thank you very much for joining us here on Channels 1 and 2. And Fozzie's fancying a move on the outside of Degner. No, he backs out. He realises there's no way to attack through there. Bobbert retains second place for now, but Fozzie is all over him like a death march here. He's all over that Ferrari.
Steve-O's now going to be under pressure from Velexity, who's having a storming run here. He's broke away from the drivers behind, and he's lapping well.
XRL Fozzie is right on close to Bobbert, and I think he fancied a move into Spoon there. And Bobbert's actually got a little wide, but so has Fozzie, so he's not got the traction advantage. But he's got a lot of curves here, goes a little wide, hangs on the edge, gets onto the inside, into the slipstream. And interestingly, Chris has sent me a message for Xbox Live. I'll have to find out what that is. But he gets into the slipstream for the 130R. Fozzie's just not close enough to attack Bobbert. Bobbert is just not close. It's just going to retain the lead of this presenter here. He's going to keep second place going into the Castiel chicane. Fozzie just not close enough at the moment. And Fozzie actually lost out the final turn there, so Bobbert has been able to drop him.
Steve-O is being held up here by that man again, Lewis Hamilton. He is not letting anyone go today. He's hurt Fearless's race so much. Oh, he does now. He lets Steve-O go through because he pit.
Going through the S's, Fozzie's having a look at the back of Bobbert here. Bobbert is no longer having this as comfortable as he thought. Really, really difficult. Meanwhile, Jigsaw, Stewart, Smitty, don't do that.
Have these guys pitted? P2, 3, 4?
No.
No, so they're going to have to pit, and they're going to... Ooh. Well, they should be okay, but they could be...
Well, XRL Fozzie's now got XRL Fearless behind him, so Fearless has clawed his way back into this.
Unbelievable. I can't understand how he's got the pace to have got himself into this, but he's doing an absolutely fantastic job today.
Well, Chris actually sent me a message saying LGS bad luck, forced the car off track. Well,
he forced Reese off the track
there,
and he went off at the first Degner.
I mean, there's no decision for the stewards at this point, so plenty of time here. Meanwhile, going down with Kurz down towards the 130R, and XRL Fozzie gets Fearless all over the inside, and Fearless is going to try and down on the inside of 130R. Oh, did XRL Fozzie weave out of the way on purpose there? There wasn't appear to be any contact, but Fearless just muscled his way on through. In fact, Fozzie's dived into the pits, so I think that's why he's done it. He's literally gone out of Fearless's way so he could dive into the pits for his fresh tyres. Meanwhile, Jigsaw thinks that LGS should have been told to leave. That's up to the stewards. It's not something I can comment on.
I'm happy enough with it at the moment, but, well, yeah, I'm happy enough with it at the moment. Lexi's worked his way into P6
XRL Fearless.
now.
Look how close he is to Bobbert now. XRL Fearless is all over the back of that Ferrari, and Bobbert has not had the easiest of days at the office today. And he goes wide at the end of the S's to opens the door for Fearless, and Bobbert has to yield. So before Degner won, Fearless muscles his way to second place. As Bobbert's reached the end of his tyre life here, and is this going to cost him badly against the likes of XRL Fozzie and the likes of Steve-O? Jambo is now in P4, moving back to P5. Meanwhile, Mr. Indigo in the sister Red Bull, doing his best to recover for his championship. Velocity's 6th place, meanwhile, is ahead of XRL Fozzie. So Fozzie's got to clear the Lotus. Not an easy job. XRL Fozzie getting a look at the back of the Velocity's Lotus heading into Spoon. Velocity goes a little wide, so Fozzie follows him, naturally drifts wide and loses traction. But now Fozzie's got an opportunity here with Kurz down towards the 130R. This is a great opportunity, and at the same time you can see that there, that Velocity's pulled to the left. He's going to try and defend. Fozzie's going to chop across him on the outside. He's going to be brave. Can he make it stick? Oh, he's just gone off 4 tyres outside the line. Fozzie lost that by the narrowest of margins. If he doesn't let that position back, that could be a penalty.
Didn't see that one myself. I have to write it down.
That was at the 130R on lap 39. I think Bobbert is in the pitch at the moment. Indeed he is. So Bobbert is going to come out behind both Fozzie and also behind Steve-O and Velocity, who's muscling back to the back of that Mercedes.
Velocity will have to pit again, but he's fighting his way back. He could be one that, to watch in terms of the whole podium scrap here. He could decide who gets it, basically.
Pretty much. Meanwhile, Spinning 56 has asked for our opinion on the F1 2014 career mode, where you can choose any car when you start. What's my opinion? My opinion is that underlines how the game is going to be crap, because they've evidently aimed it at the casual market rather than the fans.
Yeah, you're right. I can't disagree with that. I mean, there should be some sort of like sense of like you've done something right to get like a big seat like a Ferrari or a Mercedes or a Red Bull, like by proving it in the lower sort of cars in the first few seasons, like they did do it. But it's like if you go back to some of the old F1 games, you like I think it was like F1 2004 or something like that. You could do like test drivers to start off with. You actually had to work
that was the Studio Liverpool days.
Yeah, exactly. That was so much better. I mean, I know, like, some older things are better than some of the new things, but that is definitely one. I mean, some of the career modes in the old games.
Well, even Super Monaco Grand Prix on the Sega Mega Drive started you in a C class over 4 classes, and you had to beat rivals on the track to get to the top teams. Admittedly, it was a bit too easy, but you still had to do it.
The concept
you didn't just
was
pick any
right,
team you wanted. Meanwhile, Jigsaw has defended it, saying, well, you could choose to be in a lower team, it appeals to more people. But the point is, it's like, you know, it's supposed to appeal to the fans of the sport. As XRL Bobbert goes around the outside of the S's, takes a beautiful position on Steve-O in the McLaren. Wow!
Yeah, but the thing is, if you ask anyone who buys the game, plays career mode, who's like just your everyday gamer, oh, what team do you want to be in the game? They're not going to go to you and say, you know what, I'm going to want to be a Caterham because they're a slow car. They're going to say, oh, I want to be in a McLaren because like because my favourite driver Jenson Button races more, or I want to be Lewis Hamilton racing the Mercedes and have probably the best car in the game. I mean, well, why would someone pick a lower team? That's the whole point in that, isn't it?
I mean, I can understand it in Court Championship, where it's not always easy to be online at the same time as your friends, so you can choose what car you like. Coincidentally, check out my channel for mine and Smithy's Court Championship in the Caterham, if you want to see what that's like. But the fact of the matter is, I understand it for the Court Championship, but when you're offline, you can play as long as you like. You know, people are saying it takes too long to play. Well, look at Forza 4. It takes you ages before you drive in the LMP1 cars. It takes you ages before you even drive in the touring cars. No one complained about Forza 4.
Oh, but Alexi getting extremely close to that pit barrier. And even like games like Grid, the first Grid had a decent career mode.
I agree.
So it's not as if Codemasters don't know what they're doing in terms of career mode or like the offline aspect, but they're trying to make things better when the old things were good in the first place and they're making it worse.
Well, for me, it's just an example of how F1 2014 is going to be a rushed, stinking turd in order to enable them to develop the Xbox One 2015. I don't think the next game is going to be worth buying for that reason. They've proven they can't make it for 2 platforms of the same generation properly. How do they possibly hope to make it for 2 different platforms on 2 different generations? And I'm sorry if it sounds vitriolic, but that's the truth.
I'd love to just go back to the days of F1 2010. I mean, that first F1 game won BAFTAs. It was that good. When you look at some of the old F1, these newer ones, they win nothing because they're not that good.
Steve-O goes off the track at Spoon, and Jambo ends up hitting him. And the way he rejoins the circuit, but Jambo's going to arrive a move here down towards the 130R. They're side by side, the McLaren and the Toro Rosso, as they head down onto the high drag zone. Jambo's saving his curves. He obviously doesn't want to debate that and have no defence for the DRS. As they go through the 130R, Jambo takes 5th place, but Steve-O's now really close here. Getting off the final corner, Steve-O gets a great opportunity to attack Jambo. He's saved a bit of his curse, and now he's got the DRS down the straight towards turn 1, going along the pit wall. Great opportunity here, as he's going to pull out the slipstream into turns 1 and 2, but Steve-O's just not got enough traction to attack. Meanwhile, Jigsaw is saying you can't really judge a game until it comes out. Well, what I can do is judge it by the reputation of its predecessors, and unless they've pulled a rabbit out of the hat, I'm not expecting anything from the next game. Meanwhile, LGS is battling with Velocity at the foot of the points, 9th and 10th positions respectively here, and Velocity's going to be really disappointed because NMR Mr. Indigo is on par to beat him and extend his lead over Velocity. But what about Fearless? How close is he going to be if he finishes his second?
He'll be right on the same amount. I think he'll be on the same amount of points as Velexi. And Jambo, who's in 3rd in the championship, is in 5th. So he's going to be gaining points on the guys in the top 2. So it's all going to tighten up. It's all going to tighten up between these.
It just shows all it takes is the right level of drivers to bring you some right royal entertainment as you head off Spoon Curve down towards the 130R. And you can see that NMR Mr. Indigo is chasing after Steve-O, but the gap is too great. And ahead of him, Jambo's pretty much on his own as well. While XRL Fearless is catching slowly to XRL Bobbert, who's in P3. Fearless is now in 4th place.
Steve-O's in.
Alright, so Steve-O's died into the pits. That's a bit of a strange one. So he's going to drop right down the order here. Maybe he's going for a final burst on the options, but I don't see the point of that personally.
He's gone prime.
I don't see the logic in that whatsoever.
I don't either.
Stewart thinks that XRL Fearless will chase down Bobbert because he's on the option tyres, whilst Bobbert's on the primes. Depends how the wear is, though. I mean, Fearless is known to really push his car, so if he pushes really, really hard, he might find his tyre wear fall off the cliff.
Valexi's lost the position to GX. He just cannot break.
Oh, XRL Fozzie makes a mistake. Coming out of the second deck there, and Fearless goes, thank you very much, and takes 3rd position.
So Fozzie's looking unlikely to get that final podium position as yes, looking again.
Andy Coyne, meanwhile, says, what have I missed in the last 15 minutes? Being occupied with a nosebleed. Well, that's frustrating. You missed quite a lot of on-track action, unfortunately. Can't call all of it. There's lots to go through. When you get the chance, just shut the stream back on.
F1 Knowledge says, besides, Project Card is out in November. Well, that is probably the most eagerly awaited racing game that I've...
That's next gen only, though, isn't it?
That is next gen only, yeah. There's no...
So unless you've got an Xbox One or a PS4, then that's not much to get excited about.
Yeah, but I don't think there's going to be any proper racing titles on the 360.
No, I mean, I'm surprised they've not even tried to port Forza 5. Considering that it's now 3 years since the last one,
yeah,
you know, it might have been worthwhile in doing it. But then again, I'm glad of that because Forza 5 shit.
Yeah, I'm not a massive fan.
DRS flap over for Velocity as he gets up to the inside of XRL LGS. Pulls out the slipstream down towards the pit straight towards turn 1. Can Velocity hold it on the inside? Velocity tries to wall of death around the outside. LGS trying to hang on, but Velocity's got the high ground and makes that stick. Great driving.
Now he needs to flick it up into Rich and try and start to close that gap on the car in front, which I believe is Lewis Hamilton in P7.
Reese 26 meanwhile is hanging on for 10th place at the moment, doing an okay job as we speak, but it's a question of whether he can hang on and keep the point. Meanwhile, Lewis Hamilton is 7th place pretty much on his own, so he definitely doesn't want anyone catching him now. NMR Mr. Indigo is 6th, meanwhile a few seconds of drift of X-Jambo is doing a great job, and he's only just behind XRL Fozzie. So X-Jambo's in another great chance here of getting a great position as Fozzie gets a tyre onto the outside curb at Spoon, and that allows Jambo to close up tightly to him. So Jambo is on a real charge here.
This is going to make it interesting for the championship, that is for sure. As P2 and P3 are getting quite close as well.
Going through the 130R, Jambo's close right onto XRL Fozzy. Fozzy's in real trouble here. XRL Fozzy is under real pressure now because Jambo is going to have the DRS down towards turn 1. He's deployed his curves, but that's not going to stop him. There goes the flap, and this is going to be really, really easy here. Fozzy's got absolutely no defence. I think his tyres have gone. And Jambo has done him for P4. Up ahead, meanwhile, we've got a bit of an argument going on here as Fearless has caught up to Bobbitt. Really close, there's 8 more laps to go. Can these two give us a bit of classic duelling in the final laps here? It's going to be tricky. Really going to be tight with these two. They've proven before. And if Fearless gets himself into second, that's going to be one of the biggest recovery drives I've seen in a while because he's really had to fight hard after that initial mistake on the extra intermediate stunt. Coming out of the hairpin corner, XRL Fearless trying to clutch up to XRL Bobbitt. Bobbitt is hugging the outside line as much as he can, trying to get a bit of a drop here on Fearless, but Fearless with the fresh options. Oh, Bobbitt goes wide of Spoon and Fearless goes, thank you very much, dives on the inside with authority. And now deploys his curse to try and avoid being overtaken down to the 130R, but Bobbitt fights back with his, and they're going to be side by side incidents to Schumacher and Alonso all over again. They're both giving each other just enough room, and Fearless dives on the inside to take that position back.
But that might be a bad idea because Fearless with the DRS going down to turn 1.
Exactly, but Fearless didn't get the best of traction there, but even so, he's still close enough and he's got his curse. Oh, Bobbitt's moved to the mid twice there, I think.
Fearless could not get close enough, and that straight line speed of the Ferrari seems very good.
And XRL Fearless will be furious about that, having made a great opportunist move at Spoon. Watched it evaporate down to the 130R. These two are going all over each other, heads or tails. We saw Fernando Alonso, Sebastian Vettel do this for real at Silverstone, and evidently these guys want to do art imitating life at Suzuka. On the stream, meanwhile, Swish says, he says, am I going to be on after the race? The answer is no.
Just shot someone's hopes down there.
I am indeed. XRL Fearless thinking to move at the inside of the hairpin as Bobbitt goes wide, and this is going to give Fearless the high ground, but can Bobbitt fight back on the karting line with the extra grip? No, he can't. Fearless takes third place.
Little bit of curves used for Fearless just on the exit, but realistically the place was already there really and made.
But if Bobbitt's going to stay close enough off Spoon, we've seen he's good here, down towards the 130R. So let's see how he does it. Curves deployed. Is he going to get a chance to attack XRL Fearless here? I think he will. Look at the overspeed. And he's going to be up the inside. We've seen this before on the previous lap. Can Bobbitt do it again? Yes, he can.
He's going to make that overtake, not even overtake the week soon, because he keeps doing it so many times.
Exactly. Now DRS is going to easily be able to Fearless here, and you get a feeling he's going to drop Bobbitt very quickly.
Not really, has he?
Oh, it's going to be close on the inside. Bobbitt hooks the inside line. They lock tyres. Bobbitt and Fearless make contact, but Fearless is not able to get through. Bobbitt is driving the defensive race of his life here. Look at Fearless, moving left and right. This is like Mansell versus Senna at Monaco in 1992, but he just can't get past. And he goes wide off the circuit, so Bobbitt gets a little bit of breathing space for now. Well, Fearless will be all over him quickly. And as a result of this, Jambo's now called to the pair of them.
Right, yeah, we're not expecting Jambo to even be near the podium, but he's doing an absolutely fantastic job. And it just shows maybe how much Bobbitt is holding these guys up. The fact that even the two behind, is that Indigo in P5? Is that?
I think it might be actually. Let's move back. Yes, it is. So you got Indigo in 5, and then Fozzy in 6th place.
Those guys are not far off at all, so keep an eye on this one.
Oh, Fearless goes a little wide of Spoon, and so does Bobbitt. And I think Jambo might be fancying a potential double overtake here. Yes, his curse deployed. XRL Fearless pulls to the left of Bobbitt. Bobbitt forces him, and therefore Jambo goes into the outside slipstream. Fearless trots back across him at the 130R. Jambo gets to the inside of Olga's contact there, but Jambo goes through into 3rd place. And Jambo is now behind XRL Bobbitt. And the crucial, and then Fearless is like the head of him. God damn it! Get out of the way! DRS flap over for Jambo as he goes out towards turn 1. Is he going to be close enough to make an attacking move here? No, he's not. Maybe he is, because Fields goes a little wide, but Jambo's not got the pace. Going through the S's, Jambo's got a great opportunity here to take a possible podium position as he attacks the back of both Fearless and Bobbers. This 3 cars rain, it's the final part of the podium. Unbelievable action here from Suzuka, Japan. All brought to you by GT Omega Racing and GamePod.co.uk, courtesy of Twitch.tv. And of course, you've got plenty of action tomorrow night. It's GP2. Then on Tuesday evening, you've got F4000 and GP3. And then on Wednesday, you've got F5000 and T6. Before, of course, next week, it's Sunday. It's India at the Bud International Circuit for the F1 race. And XRL Fields looks at the inside of Bobbins, it goes wide of the hairpin, and that's allowing Jambo to look at the pair of them. They're side-by-side bush tyres going off the inside towards Spoon. XRL Fields going on the outside, kicking up the dust. XRL Bobbins filters ahead of him into the Spoon curve. These 3 drivers are all over each other, hammers and tongs, and Bobbins goes off the circuit. So does Jambo. Fearless chops ahead into P3, but Jambo's looking at the back of both Bobbins and Fearless here, deploys his curves down towards the 130R.
Look at the overspeed. Bobbins got try and go around the outside this time at 130R. And
they both go off the circuit now. Jambo might have a chance to do them both here. Jambo's got past Bobbins. Is he going to attack XRL Fearless as he's in 3rd place? No, he's just a bit too far behind, and Bobbins is now under pressure from Animamus for Indigo. But DRS is available to Jambo. He's attacking Fearless with DRS. Here we go. Down towards turn 1. There's going to be a magnificent recovery for Jambo, but he's not close enough to attack at this point. XRL Fearless under real pressure here. I don't think he ever expected this.
And Indigo all of a sudden is on Bobbins.
These drivers just haven't got enough of each other tonight. They're fighting all the way. This has been beautiful driving. Going through the S's, excellent Jambo trying to attack XRL Fearless. Fearless is doing all he can, desperately hanging on. How those Ocean tyres reach the end of the line. Is he running out of grip? Jambo goes into Deckner 1 and XRL Fearless goes a little wide into Deckner 2. Jambo chops a little close to the edge there. I don't know if he gave an advantage. Heading towards the hairpin corner. Jambo might fancy a move at the hairpin here. We've seen that Fearless do this before. Fearless goes a little wide, but Jambo takes too tight a line, doesn't gain an advantage. And behind him now, XRL Bobbins is right behind him, and so is Mr. Indigo. But of course, when we saw that incident that happened that we saw at Spoon and at the 130R between Fearless and between Bobbins, it's hard. All will be reviewed by the stewards. But Kurz has been deployed by Jambo. Has he got enough speed to attack XRL Fearless here? He's going to have a go, and he's going to try and go around the outside. This is brave, and Fearless has hit him and hit him off the circuit, and that's allowed Bobbins to get back ahead of him. XRL Fearless is really pushing his luck a bit too far here, because that's another move that's a bit cloudy as Jambo and Bobbins lock horns going through the final curve.
I don't think this is going to hold away, man.
And Mr. Indigo on the inside. Is Indigo going to have a go here? Bobbins goes wide off the circuit, so Indigo might take 4th place, and he's got his eyes on Jambo for 3rd. And Steve-O's retired from the race?
Really?
Why? And Mr. Indigo getting on the back of Jambo. He's got behind him, meanwhile. XRL Bobbins in the Ferrari. Bobbins will be furious to be down in 4th off the podium. And Mr. Indigo.
5th now.
Indeed, he is in 5th. I just realised that. Meanwhile, everyone's forgotten about Sayara, who's done a great job out front. We've almost got nothing to say about him because of all the action behind. As we get Jambo looking at the end of the hairpin, and Mr. Indigo is a little wide there, gets a bit of tail slip, but isn't close enough to attack Jambo.
See what Steve has to say about his performance. Get him in before we get the guys
into the Spoon curve, and we can see that Mr. Indigo has got a better line there than Jambo and XRL Fearless. So it's Red Bull, Toro Rosso, Red Bull. Wow. Meanwhile, Andy Cobb is saying I'm being very cagey with all these collisions. Simple reason, I'm not stewarding, so it's not my opinion. XRL, Mr. Indigo just not close enough to attack Jambo, but he seems to have better low-speed traction here. So XRL Fearless is being chased by Jambo, and Jambo may have DRS on him here, as Mr. Indigo's got the same advantage. And here we go, DRS flap. Jambo's attacking Fearless. Fearless moves to the middle of the circuit, and Jambo has to get out of the move. But then dies on the inside for turn 2, and Jambo takes 2nd place. Magnificent driving.
think.
Unbelievable. Jumbo is second. XRL Fields has now got Enema Mr. Indigo all over him.
Teammate battle. And it's for the well, what Enema Mr. Indigo could do with him letting him through from the championship, but Fearless has still got a championship.
I don't think there's going to be any team orders at play here. No. This is going to be the Bulls locking horns at Suzuka Circuit. Going over on the outside of Degner. Oh, big over speed. Loss of traction there from Enema Mr. Indigo. Fearless gets away from him for a few clicks, but then Indigo starts catching him back up. Meanwhile, Stewart says Steve-O's done that 2 weeks running and he knows the consequences. Well, again, it's up to the stewards. I'm not saying any more. Mr. Indigo looking at Spoon, goes a little wide though, and that allows XRL Fields to get the drop on him as Jambo started to pull away from the pair of them. And Mr. Indigo deploys his curves, trying to catch up to XRL Fields at the 130R, but he's just a bit too far behind. He can't make a move here. But Fields has gone a little wide, heading into Casio. Will that give Mr. Indigo a chance here? No, Fearless filters back into the middle beautifully, but Fearless is going to have DRS behind him. Mr. Indigo's got the advantage. There goes the flap, and there goes the curves. Mr. Indigo attacking his teammates, and he's going to haul himself onto the podium here, and that's a huge impact to the championship as Jambo continues to run around in second ahead of him.
This is massive. Indigo, only probably about 20 laps ago, was struggling to get even into the points. Now he's on the podium, and Velexity, that gap just going to be increased big time.
XRL Bobbers is now looking at XRL Fearless, actually. I think Fearless has reached the end of his tyre life. He's made a big mistake at the end of the essays. Gone off the circuit, hit the gravel, managed to catch it. Well, heading into Degner, Bobbers has got so much more speed now. I think XRL Fearless has reached the cliff, and as a result of that, he's just going to fall backwards through the field. XRL Bobbers, is he going to make a move at the inside? No, he backs out, decides it's not worth it.
I think if I'm honest, Fearless might try and let Bobbers go through before the DRS. Try and get him back, but I don't know how.
XRL Fozzie is also behind these guys in 6th place.
Yep.
Meanwhile, of course, we don't know if there's any penalties or anything to apply to the results, so plenty of action potentially there. That's up to the stewards to pass all that down.
There are to be added on, actually. I think Roberts has got one from last week, so he could do with making some positions up.
He's not got much of a chance of that. He might be able to get past Fearless for Pride. And we've seen these two dueling on track quite a lot so far. Into Casio, Fearless has the better traction as Bobbers goes over the inside line at both parts of the chicane there. That's really dangerous. You can't keep doing that or you will get a penalty. And look at that, he's given him a perfect run on Fearless, who tries to push it to the wall. Schumacher on Barrichello-esque at Hungaroring 2010. But Bobbers is not intimidated and takes 4th place. Now the question is, can Bobbers pull out enough of a gap on Fearless here? Doubtful, but you never know.
Yes, no,
it's all a matter of whether...
Sorry,
go on.
Oh no, I was just saying yes, no, I just got a comment. I wanted to speak to him, and like I said, yes, of course, good.
Heading through Degner 1, it's... Oh, XRL Bobbers has made a mistake and gone off at Degner 2, and that's going to let XRL Fozzie have a run at him into the hairpin corner on the final lap. Can XRL Bobbers resist the Mercedes driver? Yes, he can. Bobbers goes too far. Fozzie goes too far wide to the outside and fails to back out of the move.
Can Bobbers close back? We've seen he's got a bit better straight line speeds than the Red Bull in front.
It's Jumbo, but meanwhile, up ahead, Seyaru just goes over, takes the checkered flag to take a beautiful victory here in Japan. Absolutely sensational driving. Ex-Jumbo, credit to him. Where did he come from? The Toro Rosso assassin takes 2nd place unless he makes a mistake at Casio.
Final corner. Bobbers is going to look around the outside of Fearless. He's braking later. Fearless. Oh, what a pass! What a pass on the final corner of the race.
I didn't get any of that.
Fearless, what an overtake there, crikey. Right when it really matters.
Well, it's all for Pride because, of course, XRL Fields has got a 10-second penalty. Now, I wonder if that's because of collisions that happened at the 130R.
Lewis Hamilton finishes in 8th. Reese gets a point. So that is all. And Velexity finishes in P7 in the end. So, big stuff for the championship then.
Definitely. And as you say, Mr. Indigo hauling himself onto the podium, and he may have actually set the fastest lap. No, it was actually Hamilton. Well, let's go over to you then, here in Japan. After Ice Cold Andy and yourself were in a bit of a battle, it's you, Sayaru, who's at the top step of the podium. How do you feel?
He doesn't feel like talking.
Evidently lost for words.
Sorry, my mic was muted. Yeah, I'm really happy about that actually. Yeah, I mean the race was really decided by strategy really. In the first few laps, that was quite fun. A nice battle in the wet, and then it was about deciding whether the inters could last until it went to dry. But I thought that they weren't going to, so I decided to pit, and it worked out like a dream really. I mean, I gained 9 seconds on Andy when he was out on the inters on the dry track, so I mean I managed to gain a lot of time on him there, and then we had a really good battle, and it's just a shame that the battle had to be decided by a lag out, but I think it would have been a really good battle, and it would have gone down to the wire.
Well, still a great performance from yourself to get the pace on the McLaren today, so big congratulations to you. Meanwhile, I want to go over to you, Jambo. At the start of the race, if anyone had said to me that you would be battling for second and third place, I probably wouldn't have given very good odds on it. Did you think you had the pace to claw your way back to the podium with all the action that was going out on track?